tell me about your show, but you said it's not a show, it's an experience. So kind of tell
Yes.
me a little bit about what that means.
Well, so when I say experience, what I mean is that everything about this show is designed to make you feel something, to do something, to want to do something. And so we have thought so meticulously about every aspect of this show, from the set design to the audience experience to the kinds of topics that we're covering. And so you're going to experience a show that feels like something, if you're my age, I'm 50, feels like something that hasn't been on air in a long time, and that is filling a hole in terms of what's on television right now. And I just can't wait for the premiere, because this is a show where you're not going to see a single celebrity. We're not talking about or debating the news and breaking news. We are literally focused on real people and what I call rockin' the shoe problems.
What does that mean, rocking the shoe problems?
A rock in the shoe. Well, think about what it's like when you have a rock in your shoe. It's irritating. It sort of bothers you. But most of us keep walking, right? And we're like, oh, there's a rock in my shoe and it's kind of annoying, but I'm going to keep moving forward. Those are the kinds of problems that we're discussing. So it's the problems in day-to-day life that bother you, but you just soldier forward with them. And maybe it's because you don't really know how to fix the problem. It could be a problem like you've got a 25-year-old son and he's failing to launch and he's living upstairs and he's isolating himself, and you as the parents, you're not sure what to do. They graduated from college, you've set them up with job interviews. That's a rock in the shoe problem. Another problem, what do you do after you get divorced? How do you rebuild your life? You think about it all the time, but how do you get started? How do you create an encore career? What do you do in this new job market? What are the new rules of parenting? How do you connect with your grandkids when they're constantly on the phone? So all of these problems that don't require you to go to therapy for 6 months, but that really, if you were to address them and have simple ways to deal with them, your life would have less stress, you'd feel a little happier, and you'd have a sense of control. And so every day on the Mel Robbins Show, you are going to see yourself at least once. You are going to laugh at least once. And you are also going to learn something every single day. Now, how can I say that? Because I learned something every single day that I can apply in my life. And then the final thing is, you are going to leave the Mel Robbins Show feeling a little bit more optimistic, a little bit more in control, and a little bit better than you did when you tuned in.
Now, how did you get started in kind of the self-help world? I know you were a journalist and an attorney. So how did you kind of transition into doing this and writing books and helping people and try to inspire them through social media?
Great question. And I did not study this in school. This is the result of being tested by life. So I got into personal development because I hit rock bottom in 2008. So 2008, terrible year for so many of us as the recession hit. My husband's restaurant business was getting crushed by the recession. I was unemployed. We had secured the restaurant business with our home equity line, with every credit card. Kristine, we were $800,000 in debt. We were about to lose the house, kids' college savings gone. We couldn't even pay for groceries. I mean, never in a million years did I picture a life where I'd be 40 years old, 3 children, about to lose it all. And I was literally getting swallowed by the bed every morning because I'd lay there and think about our problems, and I'd get so depressed and feel so anxious that I couldn't even get out of bed, for crying out loud. And so that was the moment. The rock bottom moment when life was testing me is when I created this thing called the 5-second rule out of desperation. You count backwards, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, as a way to launch myself out of bed the way that NASA launches a rocket into space. I thought maybe if I launched myself really quickly out of bed, the anxiety and depression wouldn't weigh me down. And it worked. And then I started using it all over the place. And you know, the truth is, I never intended to get into like the self-help personal development industry. but what happened is I was asked to give a TEDx talk in 2011, and I mentioned the 5-second rule at the end of it, and the rest is history. That talk went viral. It's been seen more than 20 million times. People started to ask me to come speak at conferences about the 5-second rule. Next thing you know, I become the most booked female speaker in the world. The inbound interest about the 5-second rule was so huge that I decided I better write a book about this, because if I keep answering all these emails, I'm never going to see my children and my husband. And so I wrote a book despite my dyslexia, despite my ADHD. That book became a runaway hit in the self-publishing world. And that's where it all began. And so I have been crisscrossing the United States for 5 years on the corporate speaking circuit in everything from stadiums to the Marriott in Columbus, meeting with small business owners there. And I have met so many people face to face. I mean, hundreds of thousands of you. And I hear that the average person is struggling. Life is overwhelming. You feel lonely. You don't know how to do an encore career. You're not quite sure how to deal with the issues around parenting today. You're struggling with addiction. You're struggling with grief. You're struggling to move on after divorce. I get it. And the Mel Robbins Show is a show that is going to help you navigate the things that life throws at you. And I'm not some expert coming here to do this to you. Yeah, I'm going to give it to you straight. But the fact is, I'm shoulder to shoulder with you navigating life. And I learn something every day on this show. And when I don't know the answer, I find the best, most entertaining and helpful expert I can find, and I drag them onto this show so that we can both learn.
And what has the response been from the audiences that you have seen so far?
It is insane. So we put up melrobbinshow.com, I don't know, 6 to 7 weeks ago, maybe. We've had more than 3,000 people submit applications to come on the show and get advice. That tells you something. Our audiences are packed. We're turning people away. Like when you look at the landscape of shows out there, I'm a nobody. I mean, this is unheard of, unprecedented to have a show that hasn't even on air yet, and our audiences are full. We have more guests than we can book. There are endless things to talk about. And the other cool thing about the show, Kristine, is that the first half of the show, I'm either teaching you something like how to do a mindset reset, and I'm at a whiteboard and we got a sea of people around us and there's a quiz you can take. And so you're going to learn something really cool. Or I'm coaching someone that's stuck in some area of their life, and it's more in depth and emotional and really rich to watch as a viewer. But the back half of the show, holy cow, I'm in the audience the entire time. So we're speed coaching, it's improv, we are having a hilarious time. I'm doing things like helping you call your mother. You got something you need to talk to your mother about? Can't talk to your mom? Well, let's FaceTime her together. And the whole audience is watching as you're about to tell your mom you quit your job to launch a business. Oh my gosh. So it's so much fun. It's so relatable. I'm so excited because the other thing that's happened, we've got about 3 weeks of shows already shot. We are doing update segments at the end of every show. And people are actually using what we're talking about, and it's changing their lives for the better. And so this show is about taking one step and seeing yourself in other people who are doing the same thing and letting that inspire you. So I'm just like blown away. I cannot wait for you to see this.
I'm excited as well. Like I said, it premieres in 10 days. You have a huge social media following. Do you think the success of your show so far has been propelled by social media? Because I know a lot of the times people find problems through social media, but you're kind of the opposite of that. You're keeping it real on social media from what I've seen. Why do you think that's important for you to do? Why do you do that?
So social media is how I talk to people every single day. And there's a lot of terrible stuff about social media. But one of the greatest things about social media is that if you are very particular about the kinds of accounts that you follow, you can use it to help you improve your life, to be more positive, to feel more motivated, to be inspired to go after your dreams and to take care of yourself. And so what's happened, I've noticed, is our secret sauce is that what you see is what you get. I'm sitting here doing this interview for you about a daytime talk show. I'm in my kitchen. My son is walking around hungry as a bear. I hear the cat meowing over there. I don't have a stitch of makeup on. I haven't washed my hair since yesterday because guess what? This is life. This is Mel Robbins right here. What you see is what you get. And what's so important about our brand, given that we're giving advice, is that I want you to trust me. I'm asking you to trust me. And in order for you to trust me, you have to know me. You have to know the good parts, the bad parts, the parts where things are all together, and you got to see the stuff where things are all falling apart. And so that's why I'm so real on social media. And the other reason why I'm so real is I don't know if I could possibly manage being something else. I've got so much stuff going on, and between the ADHD and the bazillion things and 3 kids and a 23-year marriage, this is the easiest thing for me to be. And that's also core to our messaging, Kristine, which is there's only one you. That's it. And we waste way too much of our lifetime trying to be somebody else or thinking that just saying what you need to say or being who you are is somehow going to disappoint the other people in your life. And so I hope that by being me and being open about my struggles, whether it's my 2-decade-long struggle with anxiety, or the fact that 2 of my kids struggle with some anxiety, or the postpartum depression that I felt, or the fight that Chris and I might have had last night, or whatever it may be, that you feel that what you're going through, that you're not alone. And it resonates. That social media following, I got serious about putting content out every single day about 2.5 years ago. So the almost 800,000 people that follow me every single day just on Instagram, that's happened in 2 years.
That's very quick.
Yeah.
Why do you think your message has resonated so much when so many of the influencers or Instagrammers that you see, it really is a highlight reel for them, but yours is, real. Why do you think you have succeeded where so much of the time the highlight reel is what's succeeding?
I think because I'm very clear, I'm not a celebrity and I don't want to be one. And that for me, it's more like a low light reel that you're seeing. Yeah. And, I'm on a mission to empower people to stop feeling so self-conscious about what you want to do with your life or what you're feeling and thinking. And by revealing the things that I struggle with or the stupid stuff that I think and trash myself about, and by also sharing the tools that are working, and by sharing the conversations that I'm having when I'm coaching people, basically I'm giving you permission to be yourself. I'm using humor and relatability as a way to get you to think about your own life and your relationships differently. And I'm constantly reminding you that your only job is to be you and to listen to your intuition and to speak from the heart. And that all of those 3 things take a lot of courage. But again, we spend way too much time obsessing about other people's highlight reels, worrying about what everybody else is going to think or say or react to. And if you could free yourself up to really just be you, everything that you are, everything that you're not, meet yourself where you are, take care of yourself, cheer for yourself, and continue to take the steps forward in the direction of your dreams and the things that you want out of your life. That's what I hope you do with your life. Truly.
All right, so you premiere on our airways and Next Star Nation in just 10 days, like I said, yes. September 16th. So one last pitch. Why should everybody tune in? This will be my last question for you. I won't keep you.
Well, you should tune in because this is a show for you. Every other show on air is a show for celebrities or a show about the news or a show about people's opinions. This is a show for you. We have designed this show. We have designed the studio audience space. We have designed the set. We have designed the topics meticulously because we are thinking about you and what you're going through and what issues you're dealing with and what you're talking about at your kitchen table. And we are using this show as a gigantic platform for all of us to come together 1 hour a day and really look at the things that the average person is stressed about or is struggling with or drives you bananas, and to also look at the things that we often forget that are so fun, which is connecting with each other, laughing together. And so that's why you should watch, because this is a show that's designed for you.
All right, Mel, is there anything that I didn't ask you that you would like to add perhaps?
No, dear God, just watch. Oh my God. And if you're not home, set your DVRs and please watch within 3 days, please. I need your support. You know, we are the underdog here. And, you know, I'm the kind of person that I'm not looking around at any other shows. I think there's plenty of room for everybody to succeed. And I feel, though, that there's nobody out there doing what we're doing. There's no other show with a female host that is all about advice for real people that's relatable and fun.
Yeah, it's reminiscent of the shows from the 90s that were so successful. So
bingo. When you see this, you're going to realize this has been missing from daytime for 10 years. Holy cow. I didn't realize it. And so I'm just super excited for you to see this. The first 3 weeks, our calendar is set. The shows are absolutely phenomenal. And the other thing that's super cool is we also have tons of stuff on digital. So if you see something you like on the show, if we're doing a quiz or we've got a cheat sheet or something else, we're going to have all kinds of resources online to help you take it even further.
Without giving away too much, tell us what the topic will be of the first episode.
Oh my God, we just shot it yesterday.
Oh.
It is. And I'm really excited because there were some very important members of Next Star Nation who were in the audience.
Why didn't they send me?
The show is an entire show where we bring the 5-second rule to life.
Okay.
And you learn how to use it in so many areas, and you meet people in real life who are using it, and you see people who are struggling, and then you see people in real life come and support them and teach them how based on what they've done. For example, a woman who hadn't left her house in 2 years, who used the 5-second rule to beat her agoraphobia, lose 140 pounds, and now she's running marathons.
Wow.
A guy who lost his brother to suicide, who is now running suicide support groups for survivors of suicide, and has taken control of his own life, and a super meaningful conversation there. We talk about anxiety. I mean, it is so unbelievably bananas, the first episode. I cry during it. I'm laughing hysterically. There's surprises. The guests in the audience are spectacular. That's really incredible. The second show, I can't remember what it is. I mean, we talk about narcissism in the first week. So do you have a narcissist in your life? So you're going to learn how to spot them and what ends up happening if you have a narcissist in your life. That's a fascinating show. We have a grudge that killed a friendship, and bringing 2 friends together that have held a grudge for 3 years. You're nodding. I see that you can relate to that topic. Do you see how the topics are relatable?
Yeah, of course. Everybody's
narcissism. Yeah, like this. We have a daughter who wrote into us because she felt like her dad was going through an extreme midlife crisis. And there's a massive twist in the show that is one of the most profound experiences I've ever had in my entire life, when you witness this man explain what happened to him and his family 2 years ago, and you do not see it coming. You will be able to hear a pin drop when the show takes that turn. I mean, it is just like, and then I can't remember the lineup is just spectacular.
Already, you gotta make sure that you're in the room for the promotions writing.
Yeah, right. I've poured my heart and soul into this and my life's work, and I'm proud to say my greatest fear is that this show would not represent the impact and the heart and the authenticity and just the commitment that I have to making a difference. And it has exceeded my expectations on every level. I'm very, very proud for you to see it.